TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Crazy. After there, you came back to the States, obviously. And where'd you go from there?
I think it was just stuff back around here, working for guys like, in Jersey and New York, and then that Ed Zahn in Baltimore started doing some kind of stuff. So the Indies were, busy for then, being a kid and stuff, but it wasn't all. I started doing stuff for the Savaldis, that IWCCW stuff. One thing I did for them, we did TV in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and so we were going to do a big angle. You're going to come out from underneath the ring to show you here for the first time. I was all right. So the intermission, and they put me in a garbage can on a thing with stuff from the ring and wheeled me out and rolled the can underneath the ring. I'm laying underneath there for quite a few hours. Oh. When I hear my cue, I come out, go to the top rope, and Tommy Dreamer was working with Lombardi. I went ahead and jumped on Tommy. Me and Lombardi beat him up, and then came in Duke the Pitbull Snyder, who I'm sure everybody's heard of. He went ahead and came in, and we set up our big tag match return. When the TV aired, no less than 5 years later, finally, I see it. I'm like, why is this on? I had never seen it previously, and it's all these years later, and they just show me all of a sudden out of the blue. They're showing the match. All of a sudden, Chris Candido's on the top rope. He must have come right out of the locker room. I spent 5 hours underneath the goddamn ring that day. So that was my Savaldis experience. But there was a decent enough amount of indie work around here at the time.
Was Tammy still going to shows with you at the time?
Yeah, she hadn't started working yet. She was just going and still doing the Bill After picture stuff, right. And taping my matches, and she would get the or the 1980s boom box and the 2 VCRs and the TV, and somehow it was making me like tapes to send out and try and get work and stuff like that.
Now it actually happened in Texas with the LWE show.
That was we were over Sandman's house, which right there, the beginnings of the story, we were over Sandman's house.
Right.
So the story starts off with not a fucking great start. My brother and his friends, there wasn't a lot of work then, so we would pretend we were working. In our mind, let's go fucking be on the road. We'd all go, and instead of Jackass was so big that we'd go and play Hack-Ass. Huh. We would go and get fucked up and throw bounty paper towels at each other and stuff, and spray paint each other's head, just be retards. Because we wouldn't get to be on the road, so we'd go and pretend we were out partying. We were partying, but just in Sandman's basement. So we all got booked in Dallas. So we go over to Hack's house, and it's snowing, and we're up, partying all night. We get up to get to the airport. We're in Sandman's big van. The snow's coming down like crazy. The windows are broken, so there's snow flying in. We're all wet. We get to the airport. Philadelphia's airport is closed. Our flight was delayed. We sit there for 7 hours. So, of course, where do we go but right to the bar if we've already been up all night? We're passed out, drunk on the fucking on the chairs, and they come say, well, your flight's finally going to leave. We go and get on the plane. We still had a bunch of U.S. Air miles, so me and Tammy upgraded. Sandman did not, but went ahead and just sat there anyway, and nobody was going to tell him no. So they had the, you put the headphones on, they have the different stations. We put that on when we're playing with the station. We found a classic rock station. I remember the Who was on, and me and Sandman are up as the plane is boarding. We're sitting in the bulkhead, the first class section, and we're doing the Pete Townsend windmill, singing don't get fooled, and so we were causing a ruckus. Somehow Tammy had fallen asleep for a while and kind of sobered up. The stewardess pulled her off the plane. Are these two guys with you? She's like, we're going to call the cops. She's like, no. They're like, well, are they under the influence? She's like, no, they're just having fun. So she goes, as she's looking at the stewardess, looking at us, stop it. Her bag was turned. So the other stewardess is there in front of the coach section. Sandman closes the curtain, opens the drawer with all the alcohol in it, and dumps it right in the bag in front of you, the back of the deal. So we killed the entire alcohol content of the first class cabin on the way to Dallas. We were so late because of the weather that when we got there, the show was almost over. A limousine pulls up, and Manny Fernandez and Mil Mascaras are in it. We're ready. So there's a limousine, and these two guys were like, "What in the hell is going on?" They lost our bags, so Sandman calls. He's like, "Wait, I'll fix it." They lost our bags, so we need a 30-pack. Oh, that'll fix it. I remember the limo pulling up on a dirt floor. And they played my music. Me and Tammy out of the back of the car. Play Sandman's music out of the back of the side of the car. We went ahead and had some semblance of the match that I don't know. Only thing I remember is Tammy had to come in and take the stick when he went to hit me and go to save me and then nail me. She grabbed it and had a good buzz on too. Forgot which one of them she was supposed to hit. She just took the stick long ways and threw it and hit me and Sandman both. Boom, right in the nose. We both fell down. We went to the finish somehow. She got suplexed on the floor by, we had the guardrail in there and stuff.
Right.
Fell to the floor. Sandman suplexed her on the floor. She hit her leg on the guardrail and tore her quad. She was on like crutches for 3 weeks. And the next, I knew in the morning we wake up, banging on the door. Come on, come on, come on. We open the door. There's Hack with a big Texas flag on his head, a big belt buckle, and a shirt with a stripper on it, the International Players Club. I was like, where the fuck? We both go, where the fuck did you go at the same time? I got the same outfit on. Tammy gets up. Where'd you go to a fucking strip club? What the fuck is... She got the fucking same thing on. To this day, we don't know how we got it, where we got it. But apparently I was talking to AJ Styles the other night. That was the first time I met him.
Right.
Because I worked with him for Ian about a month ago. And he said he had met me in WCW when he was doing the R&B security or something, for one day or something.
Right.
There, but I never really met you. He goes, the only time I met you, he goes, I kind of met you in Dallas, but I don't think you remember. I was like, no, I don't really remember much about Dallas.
Have you seen? Did anybody actually ever refuse to work with you guys? I guess because you were out of it in ECW at all?
No, that's one thing I never did. I never went to the fucking ring fucked up ever. I mean, there was a couple guys, like Shane didn't want to work with Sandman because he was drunk when he went in there. I've worked with Sandman 1,000 times, never in ECW, except maybe one or two little runs together.
Right.
And we never even really talked when we were in ECW. There was no heat. We just were in different little groups. And we were in Michigan a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago. And also we just they made us, for some reason, Sabu's cousin there, the Captain Eddie, made me and Sandman the fiery babyface tag team. And we just kind of just clicked and we're like, why did we never hang out together in there? He's like, because fucking Shane was a dick. He didn't like me. We just, and Sandman, I got the groin surgery, it was probably 2 years ago now. And I had worked for Frank Goodman that night. He's like, who do you want to work with? I work with Sandman. He said, you just got groin surgery today at noon. You're going to work with Sandman? Huh. I said, because I know he'll take care of me. I said, he's dangerous only to himself. That's
right.
Like him and Sabu both. But they'll take care of you no matter what. But no one ever, I never went to the ring fucked up in ECW. At least not more fucked up than anybody else was. And there'd be nobody there saying, I don't want to work with them, because there was nobody that was totally straight beside Taz anyway. And me and Taz never had a problem with each other.
I was going to ask you, the two of you guys are very strong in promos. Does it bother you that when indie guys can't even do a promo to save their life?
Yeah, and what bothers me about it is there was some guy down at Ian's a couple weeks ago was having to do a promo. And he was sitting there walking around and writing shit down and fucking thinking. I said, dude, just don't think. What's your character? What would you talk about? He was like, well, I don't know. I said, well, you have to know. You made you didn't, no one gave you this gimmick. You want to be whatever fucking Joey, the fucking, newspaper delivery guy, whatever your gimmick is. So just go, I said, just what naturally would come to you, and stop thinking so much. I mean, that's what's wrong with some of the WWF show now. The guys, you can just tell the promos are so forced and stuff. I mean, like I said before, you'd go out there live, like me and Tom didn't get to talk that often, but when we did the split with Tammy, we got to do the live tape Superstars 2 weeks in a row, do the commentary, and they didn't tell you a damn thing. You went out live tape and sat next to Vince and just finished their lines and went and fucking rolled, because you don't know what you're going to say until somebody else says something, and you work off of that. If you're working off a fucking script, it just sounds like shit.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.